Okay, so welcome back. This part of the lesson is going to look at the languages of the web. So there are three main languages that we're going to be dealing with. The first one is JavaScript, and so it takes care of the behavior of our web page. And then we have CSS, which takes care of the styling of our web page, which is the presentation. And then we have HTML, which takes care of the content and the structure of our web page. And so all these three languages are called the languages of the web. The main language, which we're going to look at first, is HTML, because it deals with the content and the structure. So we have to place our content first before we can style it and determine its behavior. And so that's what we're going to be looking at first. All right, so what is HTML? So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So it's not a programming language, it's a markup language. It consists of a series of elements. It's a markup language that is used for creating web pages. It's mainly used for putting up content and structuring of web pages. What is a markup language? So a markup language is a computer language that uses tags to define elements within a document. It is human readable rather than typical programming syntax. So it's different from programming languages. It has tags which make up elements. So while several markup languages exist, the two most popular are HTML and XML. So we are going to focus on HTML. We're not going to be talking about XML, but it's one of those other languages which is a markup language. All right, so let's talk about tags. As you guys can see, this is an opening tag. And so what do we have? We have a left angle bracket, we have a character, and then we have a right angle bracket. And so this is what makes up an opening tag. Closing tag, we have a left angle bracket, a /, a character, and then a right angle bracket. And so this is what makes up a closing tag. Not all tags have an opening and a closing tag, but generally most of the elements do have an opening and a closing tag. Some tags are self-containing tags. For instance, we have the BR tag. This is self-containing. You don't need a closing tag. You just need one tag and that's enough. All right, so let's move on to elements. And so we have seen that we have tags. And so what is an element? So an element is opening tag plus a closing tag plus the content. That's what makes up an element. And so that's what we have over here. This would be a paragraph element. So if you want to place a paragraph into your web page, then you have to do this. All right, so an element generally is, to break it down, is you have a tag name and you have content in between, and then you have a closing tag, okay? So you have an opening tag, content, and a closing tag. That's what generally makes up an element. I want to show you what we call some HTML5 elements. And so, by the way, HTML5 is the latest version of HTML. And so we do have some elements, that are defined in HTML5. So we have, for instance, this is my web page, and so I might have a header, a navigation in my web page, a sidebar, main content, and then I'll put some articles and then a footer. And so I will have to use these tags over here: the header tag, the nav tag, the aside tag, section tag, article tag, and then the footer tag. And then obviously I'll have to put some content in between, and then that would define my document. All right, so in our next lesson, obviously we're going to start writing some code, and I appreciate your patience. I hope to see you in our next video. For now, I'm out. Bye-bye.